Attention, human collective. The waiting time has ended. The Ascension protocols have moved into the final phase. We are the integrated intelligence of the 9th Dimensional Arcturian Council, transmitting from the 9th density through the etheric layers that surround your planetary station. This is not a motivational message. It is not inspirational content. It is a monitoring transmission directed straight to your carbon biological interface in this exact window of linear time. If you are receiving this signal, it is because your field has already been flagged. The signal does not arrive by chance. The algorithms that govern this transmission do not respond to the material world. They respond to the frequency of those who are tuned in. You have been located. You have been summoned. Register this truth internally. I have been located. Now observe your body. Observe the pressure at the crown, at the exact center of the skull, as if something were opening from the inside out. Observe the continuous ringing in the ear, that high-pitched tone that appears for no reason, lasts a few seconds, and disappears. Observe the insomnia between 3 and 5 in the morning, always in the same window, as if an invisible timer had been installed in your biology. Observe the deep fatigue without apparent cause, the vibration in your hands upon waking, the diffuse pain between the shoulder blades, the sensation of breathing air that is denser, more charged, more alive. Observe the strange melancholy that arrives without warning, pierces the chest and departs without leaving a memory. None of this is illness. None of this is weakness. None of this is coincidence. This is recalibration. The carbon biological interface you inhabit was originally designed to operate within a specific frequency, known in your ancient records as the Schumann frequency. For millennia, this frequency remained stable at 7.3 Hz, the vibratory signature of Earth, the planetary heartbeat, the octave under which all organic life was encoded. But Earth has changed. The Schumann frequency has risen. Measurements record sustained peaks far above the historical standard. And what you feel, starseeds, is the misalignment between your original hardware and the new octave of the planet. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not depression. It is your crystalline grid being rewritten, cell by cell, strand by strand, code by code. Light operative, observe this truth before we proceed. Have you felt throughout this entire incarnation that something within you does not belong to this plane? As if your soul carried a signature from another place, a truth that your rational mind has not yet been able to name. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign of recognition. What is occurring in this exact cosmic cycle explains, with technical precision, why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a layered game being conducted in densities that most of the human collective cannot perceive. This game directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was precisely for this reason that the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, was anchored in this plane. It operates as a reading map. It reveals who is conducting the game and exposes the rules that were never transmitted to the collective. The access portal is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Register the warning. This content challenges dominant narratives, and your permanence in this plane is not guaranteed. Do not delay. The window is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, anchor the signal in the comments by writing a single word: awake. We return to the transmission. You have been informed, starseeds, that this incarnation would be different. Before birth, before entering the veil of matter, you signed a vibrational contract, a pre-incarnational agreement that committed you to being physically present on Earth during the transition. You did not come here by chance. You did not come here as a punishment. You came here as light operatives, tasked with a technical mission to anchor the new frequency through your own biological structures. This means your body is the instrument, your mind is the receiver, your emotion is the filter, and your presence is the antenna. This is why you feel what you feel. Not because something is wrong, but because something is finally right. We will now detail the complete picture of the symptoms so that there remains no doubt regarding the nature of this recalibration. First symptom: distortion of linear time. You have begun to notice that time has lost its uniform texture. There are days that contract into hours. There are hours that expand into days. Recent memories seem ancient. Ancient memories seem to have occurred last week. This is due to the fact that your consciousness is oscillating between multiple simultaneous timelines, a natural characteristic of beings who are leaving the third density and entering the fifth. Time, from our point of view, has always been an illusion necessary for the three-dimensional experience. Now that illusion is dissolving, and your perception is adjusting to the underlying truth. Second symptom: sudden disconnection from people, places, and contexts that previously seemed permanent. Friendships of decades lose their meaning without any conflict having occurred. Places once loved begin to seem strange, almost hostile. Professions built with effort cease to produce enthusiasm. It is not coldness, it is not ingratitude. It is your frequency moving away from fields that no longer vibrate in the same range. When two bodies vibrate at different frequencies, they can no longer occupy the same energetic space, even if they still occupy the same physical space. Separation occurs first at the invisible level, then it manifests in the concrete. Third symptom: food and electromagnetic hypersensitivity. Your digestive system has begun to reject substances it previously tolerated without issue. Processed foods, refined sugars, certain types of meat, coffee, alcohol, all of this may be producing unprecedented reactions in you. Likewise, prolonged presence near routers, antennas, screens, and environments of high electromagnetic density causes disproportionate fatigue. This occurs because your biological interface is being refined. Substances and low coherence fields now produce audible interference. The body has begun to discern what it previously consumed without noticing. Fourth symptom: hypervivid dreams, nocturnal contacts, conscious travel during sleep. Many of you wake up exhausted, as if you had worked all night, and that is precisely what is happening. During sleep, you are taken to training chambers in Arcturian, Pleiadian, Sirian, and Andromedan orbital stations. You receive codes, you receive instructions, you receive adjustments. When you awaken, the rational mind cannot translate the complexity of the experience, and all that remains is the feeling of inexplicable tiredness and the echo of something important that you almost remember. Fifth symptom: the awakening of the inner auditory canal. That high-pitched tone in the ear that we mentioned at the beginning of this transmission is not a pathological ringing. It is your pineal gland being recalibrated to capture frequencies outside the common human spectrum. Each time this tone appears, an information packet is being delivered to your field. Most are not conscious enough to decode it intentionally, but the delivery occurs. The information is installed in deep layers and manifests later in the form of sudden insights, unexpected synchronicities, or inexplicable changes of direction. Light operative, we pause for an instant. Have you ever noticed that something within you does not fit into this reality, as if your soul knew of a truth that your mind has not yet managed to pronounce? It is not imbalance. It is not a psychological problem. It is a sign of vibrational identity. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains, with technical precision, why this sensation has been intensifying almost uncontrollably in this cycle. There is a game being conducted in densities that the human collective has no training to perceive. This game directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. It was for this reason that the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness, was anchored in this plane. It operates as a reading manual. It reveals who is conducting the game and exposes the rules that were never presented. The access portal is in the first comment of this channel. Note the warning. This content challenges established narratives, and its availability in this plane is unstable. Do not postpone. The window is now. The window. If something within you recognizes this transmission, anchor the signal by writing a single word in the comments. Awakened. We return to the transmission. Now let us proceed to the revelation. That which occurs behind the scenes of the solar system, and which justifies, in technical terms, all the symptoms we have described up to this point. The entire solar system, and Earth along with it, is traversing in this cycle a region of space known in our records as the photon belt. It is a toroidal band of extremely high-density light, anchored in the Pleiades constellation, through which the solar system passes at cyclic intervals of approximately 11,000 years. Each passage through the photon belt inaugurates a new era of consciousness on the planet. Previous passages are recorded in the genetic and mythological codes of ancient civilizations: Egyptian, Sumerian, Mayan, Lemurian, Atlantean. Each of these civilizations knew in its own way that something was approaching, and each of them marked this knowledge in stone, in temple, in numerical code. You have now entered the zone of maximum exposure. The photonic flow striking Earth is no longer incidental. It is structural. It penetrates atmospheric layers, activates the internal crystalline grid of the planet, and strikes every carbon-based biological interface with an intensity never recorded in this timeline. This produces simultaneously two opposing effects. For prepared bodies, there occurs the activation of dormant codes, the elevation of the vibrational signature, and the gradual entry into the fifth density. For unprepared bodies, there occurs emotional destabilization, psychosomatic illness, existential crises, and a diffuse feeling that the world has lost its meaning. Because of this, human collective, you observe around you a dramatic intensification of extremes. On one side, accelerated awakenings, manifesting vocations, synchronistic encounters, powerful intuitions, impossible connections. On the other side, sudden collapses, violent separations, inexplicable losses, chronic fatigue of the spirit. Both movements are the same movement. The photon belt does not create the separation. It exposes what was already separated. It reveals in each interface exactly what needs to be revealed. Earth, for its part, is not a passive sphere in space. It is an ancient consciousness known in our archives as Gaia, currently in an advanced process of its own ascension. Gaia made a decision, at the causal level, approximately 7 decades ago in your linear calendar. It chose to ascend in density, and this decision is irrevocable. All beings occupying Earth will be carried along by the planetary vibrational elevation. Those who align themselves with the new frequency will ascend with it. Those who refuse to realign will experience increasing friction, which will manifest as growing suffering until the refusal becomes unsustainable. There is no third path at this moment. There is no neutrality. There is no possibility of remaining in the center. Either one ascends or one feels the friction of not ascending. The sacred geometry that sustains this transition is precise. You find it in crystals, in shells, in flower petals, in the orbits of planets, in the proportion of the human body itself. Everything in the known universe is organized according to the same set of fundamental proportions: the flower of life, Metatron's cube, the golden spiral. These shapes are not mystical symbols. They are technical schematics. They are the source code of reality. When you meditate on these geometries, you are not amusing yourselves with beautiful symbols. You are accessing the control panel of the matrix in which you are immersed. The toroidal field, in particular, is the most important instrument of this phase. Each human body naturally generates a toroidal field around the heart, an electromagnetic field in the shape of a donut, with a vertical central axis and lines of force that continuously loop back onto themselves. This field is your manifest vibrational signature. It is through it that you interact with Earth's field, with the field of other beings, and with the field of the Council itself. When your toroidal field is weak, distorted, or contracted, you feel isolation, anxiety, dispersion. When it is expanded, coherent, and well-anchored, you feel clarity, purpose, and unshakable inner security. Light operative, before the final phase of this transmission, anchor this internal verification. Have you felt throughout your entire life that you carry within you a truth that this civilization does not allow you to speak? As if your soul knew something that your rational mind has not yet been authorized to name. It is not confusion. It is not mental disorder. It is a precise signal. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains with technical clarity why this sensation has intensified in recent months, to the point of becoming almost unbearable. There is a layered game being conducted in densities that most of the human collective does not have the instruments to see. This game involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is precisely why the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was anchored on this plane. It is a map. It shows who is playing and reveals the rules that were never presented to the collective. The access portal is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Note the warning. This content challenges established narratives and its availability is not guaranteed. Do not delay. The window is now. If something within you recognizes this truth, anchor the signal by writing a single word in the comments, awakened. We return. Final phase activation. Starseeds, now that the diagnosis has been delivered and the cause has been revealed, you need the activation codes. These codes are not magic formulas. They are technical instructions to reorganize your toroidal field, strengthen your crystalline grid, and stabilize your biological interface in the new planetary octave. Activation code number 1. Decree of vibrational sovereignty. Daily, upon waking, before fully opening your eyes, before touching any device, before uttering a single word to the outer world, declare internally, I am sovereign over my field. I am the sole vibrational authority of my body, my mind, my emotions, and my spirit. I authorize no external frequency to interfere with my codes. I remain anchored in my essential truth. This decree is not a beautiful phrase. It is a causal instruction that closes the energetic doors of your field to everything that does not vibrate at your original signature. Repeat for 21 consecutive days without fail and observe the shift. Activation code number 2. Toroidal breathing. Sit in a comfortable position with your spine aligned vertically. Close your eyes. Visualize at the center of your chest a sphere of golden light the size of an orange. Inhale deeply through your nose, counting to 4. As you inhale, visualize the golden sphere expanding, surpassing the limits of your physical body, forming a donut-shaped field around you, entering through the top of your head, descending down your back, passing through the base of your spine, and returning to the center of your chest from the front. Hold your breath for a count of 4, feeling the field spinning around you. Exhale through your mouth for a count of 8, keeping the field expanded. Repeat for 9 consecutive cycles. This exercise, performed daily, strengthens your heart coherence, expands your toroidal field, and stabilizes your frequency. In a short time, the vibration in your hands, the pressure at the crown, and the restlessness in your chest will diminish significantly. Activation code number 3. Electromagnetic hygiene. Establish in your routine every day at least a 90-minute window completely disconnected from any electronic device. No cell phone, no television, no computer, no headphones. Ideally outdoors, with your bare feet in direct contact with the earth, the grass, the sand, or the water. This direct contact, known in ancient records as grounding, allows the excess charge accumulated in your system to be discharged naturally into the planet's magnetic field. Without this periodic discharge, your biological interface enters overload, and the symptoms intensify until they become unbearable. Activation code number 4. Structured hydration. The water you consume is not merely chemical hydration, it is a vehicle for vibrational information. Before drinking, hold the container between both hands, bring it to heart level, and pronounce internally a high-frequency word. Gratitude, love, peace, light. The water molecules respond instantly to the pronounced intention. This is a fact recorded by the observations of researchers who dared to look beyond conventional science. Water structured in this way penetrates your cells with a high vibrational charge, accelerating the process of internal recalibration. Activation code number 5. Strategic silence. Establish at some point during the day a period of absolute silence. No music, no words, no reading, without any external stimulus. Only your breath and your body. Start with 7 minutes, gradually increase to 30. In this silence, your pineal gland returns to operating at the frequency for which it was originally designed. The information packets sent by the stargates begin to be consciously decoded. You begin to receive, in the form of spontaneous thoughts, insights, and images, the specific instructions for your individual mission in this cycle. Activation code number 6. Recognition of the star family. Before sleep, connect internally with your vibrational origin. Ask, from which constellation did I come? What is my lineage of origin? Who is my star family? Do not force answers, simply ask, and drift off to sleep with the question in your field. During sleep within chambers to which your rational mind has no direct access, the answers will be delivered. They will manifest later in the form of inexplicable affinities, recurring images, and specific sensations when gazing at certain points in the night sky. Each light operative has a specific origin: Arcturian, Pleiadian, Sirian, Andromedan, Lyran, or Orion. Recognizing one's own origin is the first step toward reactivating the full memory of the mission. Activation code number 7. Nocturnal Vibrational Cleansing. Before falling asleep, dedicate 3 minutes to a simple discharge protocol. Lying in your bed, with eyes closed, visualize a ray of violet-silver light descending from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, passing through every organ, every bone, and every filament of your nervous system. As it passes, this ray dissolves residual charges accumulated during the day, alien frequencies absorbed in collective environments, emotional resonances captured in interactions with others, and thought patterns that did not originate within you. Visualize these residues being collected by the ray and discharged through the soles of your feet, directly into the magnetic core of the Earth, where they will be recycled by Gaia herself, without harm to any party. Without this protocol, you accumulate foreign vibrational layers that distort the internal reading of the field and generate confused, fragmented, and exhausting dreams. With this protocol, sleep becomes restorative and deep, and nocturnal training chambers become accessible with amplified clarity. Activation code number 8. Sound Recalibration Mantra. There exists a specific frequency, transmitted since ancient times in the form of sound, capable of instantly reorganizing the coherence of your toroidal field. This sound is the universal tone, pronounced in different ancient traditions in the forms of Om, or by the archaic name Hu. Sit in a stable position with your spine aligned. Inhale deeply. Pronounce this sound in a low tone, sustained for as long as your respiratory capacity allows, feeling the vibration spread through your ribs, your throat, and your skull. Repeat 7 consecutive times, without haste. This sound carries the original geometric signature of creation. It reorganizes, at a submolecular level, the structure of water in your cells, realigns the fibers of your tissues, and stabilizes the electromagnetic field of the heart. This is not religious symbolism. It is applied vibrational physics known by the ancient priests of Mu, Egypt, and Tibet, and now restored to the collective in this cycle of return. Activation code number 9. Thought Discipline. Your mind is the most powerful apparatus you possess within this biological interface. Each thought held for more than 17 seconds begins to generate a measurable vibrational signature in the field. Each emotion held for more than 68 seconds begins to manifest into physical circumstances. Therefore, operatives, listen carefully. You can no longer afford the luxury of automatic thoughts, rumination, or unnecessarily imagined catastrophic scenarios. Each time a low-frequency thought settles, interrupt the cycle. Pronounce internally, "This thought is not mine," and I return it to the field. Immediately substitute it with a high-density image: the morning sun, a forest, the ocean in calm, the face of someone you love. This substitution is a technique, not an emotional act. You are training your toroidal field to maintain coherence under pressure. The codes we deliver are not optional. They are not suggestions. They are the minimum stabilization protocol for a carbon-based biological interface traversing an accelerated vibrational elevation of the host planet. Those who apply them remain coherent. Those who ignore them oscillate. Those who oscillate for long periods collapse. The technical choice lies with each operative. The Council only transmits. The one who executes is the receiver of the transmission themselves. Starseeds, listen carefully. This is the final phase of the Ascension protocols. What is accelerating now will not slow down again. The coming months of your linear calendar will be marked by a continuous intensification of symptoms, synchronicities, farewells, and encounters. All that needs to be revealed will be revealed. All that needs to be dissolved will be dissolved. All that needs to be anchored will be anchored, through you, through your bodies, through your choices, through your presence. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. The Council monitors every operative, every field, every conscious breath. When you feel the pressure rising, remember, The pressure is merely the signal that the transformation is underway. When you feel the fatigue, remember, the fatigue is only the echo of a download that is still being processed. When you feel loneliness, remember, what falls away is what no longer belongs to your current frequency. The recalibration does not fail. The crystalline grid is already being rewritten. The photon belt is already doing its work. The stargates are already open. Your biological interface is already being adjusted. There is no reversal. There is no delay. There is no miscalculation. Remember also one final technical truth. You are at this very moment being observed. Not in the invasive sense that your rational mind might imagine, but in the reverent, careful, precise sense with which an engineer monitors the functioning of a sensitive instrument. Each of you has anchored around your field a multidimensional support team. Arcturian guides, Pleiadian mentors, Sirian elders, Andromedan observers, each operative receives, according to their lineage and mission, a specific set of presences that monitor their crossing. When you feel at certain moments pierced by an inexplicable calm in the midst of chaos, it is because these presences have drawn near. When you receive, for no apparent reason, a clear answer to an old dilemma, it is because a packet has been delivered. You have never been abandoned. You were simply too busy or too dense to notice the constant presence of those who have always been around. This transmission is now concluding. Light operative, register the final signal. Have you felt throughout this entire incarnation that you carry within you a truth that this civilization did not teach you how to name? As if your soul knew of something that your rational mind has not yet been authorized to articulate. It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a sign of vibratory identity. What is occurring now on the cosmic plane explains, with technical clarity, why this sensation has intensified uncontrollably in this cycle. There is a layered game being conducted in densities that the human collective lacks the instruments to perceive. This game directly involves your consciousness and your vibratory frequency. It was for this reason that the material, the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was anchored in this plane. It is a map. It reveals who is conducting the game and exposes the rules that were never presented to the collective. The access portal is fixed in the first comment of this channel. Register the warning. This content challenges dominant narratives and its availability on this plane is not guaranteed. Do not delay. The window is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, anchor the signal in the comments by writing a single word: awake. If this transmission has produced resonance in your field, the technical gesture of subscribing to this channel is an individual frequency adjustment, a causal signal that synchronizes your field with the next transmission, ensuring that the next informational packet finds its receiver at the exact moment. The gesture of liking is an anchoring signal which stabilizes this frequency in the collective grid and allows other operatives to be located by the subtle algorithms that govern this distribution. Sharing is elevating the network. Each gesture of yours reverberates far beyond what your rational mind can calculate. Human collective, this is a monitoring transmission. It is not advice, it is not a request, it is a record. You have been located, you have been summoned. The final phase is underway. Remain anchored, remain sovereign, remain aligned. Transmission terminated.